well, if they're going to be playing it like Inferno, you can have more save rounds than we just saw. And I do not want to see that.
Not at all, not at all. The main thing is at least usually you do start to see those contests. Obviously, the site's a little bit closer to each other, so it's not always going to be occurring that way. But irrespective, Overpass is now. It is time to dive straight into the server and find out who will be joining Vertex in that grand final of, again, the IEM Sydney 2023 Oceanic Closed Qualifiers. Thank you to everyone who has joined us so far, and make sure you continue cheering on these teams and let us know who you want to win the most, as it is Rooster up against LFO.
And my favorite map in Overpass. Glad to see it being picked up again over the course of this tourney. Doilies, though, once more. Actually, this time for Rooster, TJP. Bit of a monster hold. See if it's going to work out for them. Again, LFO just want to take things a little bit patiently. Sterling on the other side of the map completely. Do have Hatz going to make his way over to B as well. You only have a smoke and 2 flashes. As soon as you pull the pin on that from apocdud, it's going to give up some of this information. And with just those USP shots, it's not going to be enough concern for Rooster to rotate off the B site. This potential fake that they're trying to sell is not working.
Dunsky, good opener here from Savage to at least sort of rip open the site. ASAP in position, always awkward from that line of pillar as ADK felled by Hatz. 2 big frags on the entry from Hatz. Savage will get another, and there's no real response from Rooster at all. Savage with 2-2. Very nicely done from LFO. Great entry, great start, good patience. And they reap the rewards here as they find the opening pistol.
Yeah, we're going to probably expect the force up from Rooster. However, on this CT side, not a lot to really connect with at all. You know, 5 alive from LFO is always going to work out good. Savage and Hatz getting all of the kills between the two of them. And actually no force up from Rooster either, which means we're going to get the first gun round in the first round that you should see a gun round in this series. The third round.
The third round. Yeah, not exactly a second round force, this one. They're just going to instead stack 5 inside connector. Licky's got the weapon to do it, though. Certainly not what you want to see in the bomb being in there. But, look, both have Mac 10s. There's a lot of support. 4 for apocdud. Hella money. And if he really wanted to, he could invest into the AWP for Sterling early, but maybe not the best choice. Maybe just run it down with what you've got and see what you can work out into this first gun round.
Would have been very interesting if you were to get out an AWP on the T side straight away in the third round. I wouldn't put it past someone like chelleos, but a team like LFO probably not. One thing that we saw time and time again in yesterday's series was Rooster throwing that exact Molotov, but following it up with a HE grenade. So I want to see if they're going to start to do that again, if they're going to put emphasis on some mid-party control out towards the backyard, or if they're kind of just going to give that up to LFO.
Oh. Great start from nettik. A little bit of a response from apocdud. Can pick up the M4 if he so wishes. chelleos, where are you, though? Just hiding, just tucked. And he's been spotted. That's not a good spot to be in, but apparently he makes it so. It's not even apocdud the one to go down. He's up in party. And unfortunately, there's absolutely nobody here to join him. Didn't get the invites out, apparently. chelleos with a very clean 3. Great reaction from Rooster here. 4 alive. Solid as anything. But what I did kind of very quickly want to touch on was Rooster showed a lot of hesitancy to take short, to take mid, to take con on the CT side of that previous map we saw against Vertex yesterday. So it will be very interesting to see if they change up the pace into this one against LFO.
Yeah, I think they will. Rooster, a team that definitely wants to get in good preparation, want to back up that EPL spot with an IEM Sydney spot as well, really cement themselves as a top 2 team, and more importantly to showcase that the wait was worth it to get these players back.
Yeah, definitely. Damage dealt. Licky finds ASAP. A little bit of a trade through from short.
Spammed it through the wall.
I'll be happy with that. Yeah.
The AWP is out though for LFO. In the hands of Licky now because he is low in HP, and this is the time for LFO that space is needed to be found on a map like Overpass, not so much like Inferno. Got to get into these choke points. Got to flush out where Rooster are playing from in a player advantage position as LFO are. You don't want to leave it up to about 20 seconds before you go in, because Rooster, a team very capable of shutting you down. We've already seen massive flicks from players like nettik, these 180s through smokes that he was able to find over on Inferno.
Holding the aggressive line too. Really wants to find the fight down here. Does have the support from chelleos. Just watching each which way. Happy to do it together. They're actually going to go a little bit of a walkabout here. I like this from nettik. He's getting aggressive. He's going to be able to find the opener. Is Sterling able to get the trade? Not quite. nettik holds true.
And there's
brings
the
it back to a 4-on-4.
There's that 20-second mark I was talking about. You can't wait to 20 seconds as LFO to try and get something done, because Rooster are gonna take the space. You do have Savage, who's whilst he's waiting to B, but you have to bring in that bomb. That was a needed kill. Absolutely required. But with 6 seconds to go, will the plant even
they
go
even get
down?
the plant? Can they get the plant? What's going on? Why? What? How? What the hell was that from LFO? Komodo. We knew that the
Wrong
second
pathing.
that they crossed, yeah, I don't know. Like, Sterling went up short, right?
Couldn't get it up to default. Went long. Couldn't get it around default. No plant. A late smoke towards default, wrapping around the right side of the pillar where you're exposed to heaven. I don't know who's called a wrong call there, but that, mate, that's a blunder.
Mate, I was just watching. I saw, Sterling getting some extra utility, doing his due diligence out from short. Awesome. Savage gets the frag onto, the cross to afford some space to the site. Also awesome. But then the bomb not going down at all. So, yeah, maybe just miscom, maybe misplay. I don't know. Don't want to think too much of it, but I thought that was LFO's chance in the round, but
should have been.
chelleos starts off, and Sterling at least gets the response into ADK. Both AWPs still up.
Yeah, got to get out of dodge, though. Don't want to be overwhelmed through a smoke. This is just pistols for LFO with that AWP, so you want to see the boomstick putting in the wow factor. And then it's going to be falling on back, respecting the position that he is by himself. It's not a bad idea. Again, for Rooster, you're always going to have in the forefront of your mind the tendency of LFO to bleed the time. Not adapting against what Rooster are throwing at them is such a weakness of LFO in this best of 3 right now.
Yeah.
And LFO just have to change that. I don't know how many times I need to harp on this until they change it. Setting up some util though. And execute to steamroll into B. It's going to be blocked by time by that smoke. They just have to disrespect this one.
Definitely a winnable round, but we know that Rooster are going to play it very, very forward, and it's going to be TJ with the blind spray to actually do a hell of a lot of damage onto apocdud as well. Now it's going to be Hatz trying to sell that fake, and
can't go anywhere.
It must be Hatz in-game leading from what I'm seeing, right? Trying to get these rotations over, trying to make these pulls, but it seems like maybe not everyone's on the same page, or there's just, plenty more kinks to iron out. I could be wrong. I'm just throwing out statements here without any backing foundation, but
the way that Rooster is playing right now is the Achilles heel of how LFO wants to be tackling this series. They want to be tackling it slow and methodically, seeing if there's any overextensions from Rooster, who are not giving it to them, waiting out the time with all this utility, forcing LFO to take these fights that they don't want to. It's a really good style of Rooster at the moment for this series. And LFO have to be more disrespectful. They have to be more in your face. They have to be more risk-taking, because this method of CS is not working against Rooster.
At least Rooster are showing a little bit more presence, I guess you would say, towards mid. They have fallen off, though, for now. Just another set of utility to go down inside Monster. ADK's got a little bit of a one-way, molly out. It's just an anti-eco. There is some utility. They do have the nade stack, which is going to go towards boost, which actually works out. The Astralis stack looks good, but there's not really a whole lot else for them to work with, so they're not going to be able to trade their way out short here. And it's a quick cleanup for ADK, ASAP, and nettik. 3 and 4 members towards B. Another great read from Rooster.
Yeah. Not really dropping too much to those pistols either. In fact, not a single kills with the pistols. It's that grenade stack that warranted a frag. But now we need to see it converted, right? We need to see LFO with this weaponry, with this utility, be able to get this round. These sort of rounds where you've got all of the full utility, your style of play is going to be slow again from LFO. They need to get a little bit faster, draw out all this utility from Rooster, who have already dropped 3 incendiaries around the map. That's the 3rd one now thrown actually by LFO. And Mitch, there's a smoke and spawn thrown from LFO as well.
Uh-oh.
I don't know if they were trying to set that up somewhere or they wanted a different piece of utility. But these are the mistakes you cannot be making because they've got no smokes anymore. They're trying to get into B.
They are following their way out, though. At least they're all here so far, but they need to find some frags. One into ADK, but TJP, ASAP, they're there, defending, kicking firmly. They're going to make sure that LFO are screaming here unless they can continue forward, and nettik gets another. Savage just has to watch the flank. There's that hesitation from LFO again, and Rooster are all over them.
Yep, enough members over at the B site. All those smokes, all the mollies that are thrown out as well. All the blinding. You saw how many flashes were actually thrown into that one, but you want to know who wasn't blind throughout the course of that? It was ASAP. At the perfect position, just to spray him on down with the A1S. And LFO members, yes, they're throwing in the flashes to blind Rooster. A couple of them were team blinded as well.
Not great so far. Savage is now just going to spend the next 30 seconds thinking about anything that can sort of be done. It's like the team's been put in the naughty corner. Sit here and think about what you've done. Not him personally. Savage has actually had a pretty decent start to this map. Sterling a little bit slower. You know, we're sort of talking about Overpass being a relatively even map. But for now, Rooster very much have the stranglehold here. Both hands.
Yeah, I need to see the timeout from LFO now. There needs to be a real discussion. It's another gun round shut down before it could even get started.
Pretty sure I did see Coach has them in the server as well, so...
Yeah, he's been with them throughout this, yep.
Yeah, so I thought this would be a good time to call it. Apparently not. Maybe not, just because they have gone for, obviously, another level of a save. A little bit of a gentle buy around the AK. They're happy to let another round go to make sure that they do it correctly. Chelleos has been naded off the line as well. So, a decent start.
Definitely need to see Savage do something special with this AK-47. You got the pistols behind it. You can steal away a rifle. You might be able to get something situated in this round. But he is by himself. Left to tread waters. The rest of LFO just creeping up slowly but surely. No util to really back up all of these duels. You just want to swing together as a unit. See what you can bait on out. Again, Savage, what sort of timing besides really luck do you have in a round like this with a smoke and an AK? You just need to find something dry, something sneaky and unexpected, which is what I want to see from LFO as a whole, not as an individual.
Team has to be operating efficiently and effectively. chelleos in his primed position. Man is a monster around this A site with the AWP. So they are going to start the walk in. It's a good flash to get rid of him. And he has to actually go up close and personal. So it's going to be the shotgun AWP. Does only get one. apocdud will be able to burn him down. So now the rotation sets up, but they cannot overlook this position from nettik, and they will not. apocdud goes looking, but unfortunately can't quite find it. Back to the 3-on-4, and they are just absolutely everywhere here. Looks like Savage is actually going to go hunting for this frag if he finds it, but nettik seems to be aware of it. It's going to be all about the timing. Does favor Savage. Now they start to get moving. Look at ADK's position, Komodo. He's walked into the bathroom. And he ain't stinking at all. ASAP, smoke onto the bomb. Do they look forward? Hatz does actually catch it, but it's onto the stick. It's onto the defuse and not TJP. Of all people to close out the ninja, the big man gets it done. Oh, LFO, they have got to be burning, and you know exactly what TJP has just typed in the chat.
I can hear the laughter from TJP. I can hear it right now. We've seen it too many times. That is a way in which a round is, well, more often than not, you know, not actually happening for the result. But for LFO, when you get in, you get the plant, you remove the AWP from chelleos, you get those 2 kills, you flank the flanker who got flanked again, and then you lose to the ninja. The smoke grenade thrown to protect that defuse, though, I will say early on as well. Very nice. He got on the defuse before the smoke even bloomed. Without that, he would have died.
It was so well played by Rooster, of course, on that retake, but you've got to be hurting, right? If your only really good round in this map is lost out by a ninja, it hurts. But it's okay. You know, they'll be still firing off the back of that. Sterling's actually found the opener onto chelleos here.
Got to convert that one, though, now. You have to. This is a must-win from LFO. Player advantage, not a lot of utility from Rooster. You're spreading them thin around the map. So much real estate. But, Mitch, look what Rooster are doing at Monster. They lose positioning over at the A side of the map, and they're taking space to get information early on where LFO can still be coming from. If you hid the names on this series, and you sent this to me a couple months ago, I would have said it's the other way around with these names.
Spitting facts. So is Licky. Good 2 frags in the round. Only left now onto a bit of an awkward one for TJP and nettik. Savage surely would have heard him, so this should be free real estate on the B site. A 2-bedroom house. It's got a pool in the back, but you have to bring the furniture. And now TJP, 1v5, all on his lonesome. Savage did well, but it looks like TJP is going to go hunting, so he will likely meet his demise in the short term. And there is enough money to kind of throw it around, but I think chelleos will probably just buy himself an AWP and the rest force.
Yeah,
actually, this is ugly. I don't like this. Maybe just a hero AWP for chelleos, and that's it.
Potentially.
Glass
I mean,
cannon,
ASAP can
save
get, like,
2k.
a deagle or something out with a bit of util as well. Can even go Kevlar deagle with the 1900.
I feel like there just will be an AWP. Like, that's all I can say. I feel like there will be an AWP purchased, unless I'm wrong.
Yeah, there is.
I've casted this team for like, oh, they even force. Okay, very good. I've been casting chelleos, I think, now for like 7 years, so it's always good.
Yeah. The time for
like
LFO, though, to get close, right? If they are able to weather this round, make it 6-4, and eco in the next, maybe even a double. If you want to get your full weaponry out, you're talking about near-tied scoreline. Talking about the time for LFO to get a pass mark on the T side. I'd say 6 or 7. Probably would get the job done for them. But we'll see. It's back to the slow-paced and slow-natured gameplay. Exploring around the map. Nobody towards the A side of this one at the moment. Everyone on Rooster at B. Chell with that AWP. You want to see it. You want to hear it.
It's that rifle from ASAP too. It's right there. Flash doesn't quite meet the mark, but they hesitate. Oh, no. They run, and so much damage has been dealt. It's a thankful mark that apocdud has at least found this opener, because now you can see Hatz is running it all the way up long. He has put the J's on, and he is moving quickly, but he's slowed it down, and that's already Rooster starting to kind of work out exactly what's happening. chelleos is repositioned. Hatz
30
now
seconds.
looking to get up there. Exactly. Time ticking. They do have enough at least, but look at this reposition from chelleos. This is what I love about his playstyle. What I love about his aggression. He's got the support, but there's the opener. Hatz can't even peek around to find him because nettik's going to be able to find it. There's Hatz though. 1 and 2, but still chelleos kicking up forward, buying the time, making it work. Hatz does get another frag. 80k now, but they have to get the bomb. They have 10 seconds. They've got to get moving so fast. Savage, does he have enough time? He doesn't have it at all. Oh, man. Oh,
They're going to get 80k? Or imagine if Hatz won that duel, though. That would have saved the round. Because it's before the timer with 2 seconds to spare. Oh, my.
Hatz has to be calling, right? Again, this is not a dig at Hatz. But just the way that the team is moving around the map, it has to be Hatz. At least as a secondary caller. Got to get some detail. As I said, I'll find out before the game, before I start stipulating. But after the game, rather. But yeah, oh man. There's been a few of those where there has been a long rotate called. And it's been so late in the round that it just doesn't make sense. And so much hesitancy. So here we go. Crack the whip. Send them out into the site. Licky gets the trade. But look at the rest of the team. They're so far behind. Sterling still watching the flank into short. They haven't got the bomb down just yet. In the hands of Licky, and they pull out.
And now all the utility that you've used to get on in is just going to be wasted. Yes, you've got an equalization. You got 80k removed. But you've given enough affordance for Rooster to get here, and you don't know what utility they still have. You can have an idea because in the last round, there was one player to survive. You heard MP9s, you heard pistols. But for LFO, that last round was the win. They kind of gave up the goat in that one a little bit by their rotation time, as you mentioned. So right now, it's rough.
Very, very rough. So they hold fast, freezing, starting to creep their way out towards Monster now. going to try and take as much control as possible. apocdud does get that opener, dinked back as a response, but still looking to take that control. TJP does find the frag, and now as they move on in, Sterling will get a response, but the advantage is held by LFO for a little bit longer. nettik all alone in a 1 versus 3 here, and it is really, really awkward. Okay. Looks like we're going to have to switch over for just a second, guys. I think we're having some technical difficulties for just a second. But it looks like everything is starting to sort of make its way back. All right, so there we go. Full round done. Just some lag with the server, so we're going to get that fixed in a second. Don't worry too much about it. But yeah, ultimately it looks like that's actually LFO walking through with that round. So well done to them. But Komodo, I just can't kind of put my finger on this, right? Because individually and as frags sort of come through, LFO are still picking up rounds. They're still getting kills. But they just don't seem to be all on the same page, which again is historically, we've watched the LFO Encore Avant even going back that far mix, right, for quite some time. And you do see moments where the players don't seem to be all on the same page. And that seems to be somewhat kind of true now. You'll give them more space in the sense that, you know, technically when we talk Savage coming back after a while away, Hatz new to the roster, apocdud completely new to the team as well. So you're going to give them a bit more space than, say, a more well-rounded team. But there is still that hesitancy that we just continue to see. And I just can't work out the calls and who's directing that kind of vision across the board.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that one. And I mean, there's a sense of, you know, non-confidence there as well, right? Yes, LFO are getting a lot of these rounds, but the way that they're getting them is not convincing. It's not smooth. You can't really back it up and repeat it like we've been hoping for to come out to get these ones just convincing rounds. That's what we need, because when I look at this series and I weigh it up to what we saw yesterday and what Vertex will, you know, be as a known quantity, you're not going to be able to beat them if this is the way that you're playing into the next series. It may well be the way that you beat Rooster for LFO, or it may be the way that you beat LFO if you know Rooster. But it's just not going to work against Vertex, I feel. So that's where you need to realize right now you've got to change it in the moment.
Exactly. No, 100%. You know, the only sort of thing that I would see is either, you know, say, for example, if it is LFO that take this one through, going in against Vertex, who Vertex looked arguably stronger against LFO than they did against Rooster, right? So I think there's definitely sort of an opportunity or a moment where if Vertex maybe get complacent or fall apart a little bit, or something kind of, you know, just goes into the mind of LFO and they really, really freshen up real quick. But you know, it's just so hard to sort of look through. Like, the two favorites into this competition were always looking like it was going to be Rooster and Vertex, the direct invites of the competition, all the ones who have got that recent overseas experience as well. So LFO right now just need to show me more if they're going to be looking to overwhelm Rooster here, because, you know, they did take that first map 16-14, but outside of that, you know, Inferno looked a lot more lackluster and Overpass is still looking shaky.
Yeah, and I mean, I think, you know, 6 or 7 is probably still going to be a decent scoreline for LFO if they're able to get towards that on the exchange. But again, we've just seen, you know, the previous map, the fall off on the second half, right? So I kind of still have that in my mind on if that's going to play a factor come into this map right now. Rooster are doing the right reads. They're getting the right positioning. Chelleos is getting up close and personal with that AWP. We're getting, you know, map control regained when they lose a player. They're playing this the way that they should be. And it's kind of leaving LFO alone in the corner to try and do their own thing and recuperate, where sometimes it's working, sometimes it's not, but they're not doing the things that they need to do to help themselves. And that's where it's like, I need to see that change, right? Whether or not it's the fact that it's a different calling style that they're not used to. Someone needs to just step up in the situation and do something different.
Yeah, I think it's really sort of where you might need the voice from Hudson or something like that to just kind of say, all right, guys, you know, we need to all listen to each other. We all need to, you know, just relax here and let it happen. Because I think on some of those rounds where the calls were a little bit late, or, you know, the rotations were a bit in a dire position rather, I think it's a rough one where you sort of think there. Rooster is a team that most people, when they play against, they go, what the hell is going on? Whereas if LFO are making Rooster say, what the hell is going on? I think that's a very big flip of the tables, which is a super interesting thing to be watching. And we just did hear from production that hopefully the issues will be sorted very, very soon. So the game should be back live in just a second. probably still is being played on, but we'll find out that and update you all very shortly as well. So, Komodo, yeah, like we're already sort of, leading towards that last bit of the game where the second half will tell us who is going to be joining Vertex. And yeah, I don't know. Do you think Vertex is sort of sitting there going, this is going to be an easy run with the chaos, or are they still feeling a bit threatened?
If it's a scale of 1 to 10 where 1 is feeling like, oh, we might struggle a little bit, or no, like we might struggle decently, and 10 is going to be it's a walk in the park, I think we're probably on the 6 at the moment. I think it's not so much as a run or a walk in the park, but it's not as heavy as we need to really be fighting for this. From what we've seen so far in yesterday's games, I think we've got enough juice from Vertex to just make sure it's all tasting nice. However, the caveat is, did we see everything from LFO and Rooster yesterday? Because what we're seeing right now in the server between these two teams makes me believe that we probably saw closer to everything yesterday than closer to not everything.
Yeah, interesting. Oh man, I don't know. It's just such a crazy one. I think the main thing is at least like Rooster. They seem to just sort of be reacting to a little bit of a slower play thrown out by LFOs. So I can't really sort of say that their form in this game now is going to link up directly with how they're going to play against Vertex. I think whoever goes into the final, it's going to be really, really strong. I still am sort of expecting Rooster to get in there, which means that hopefully this final should be the best match and series that we've had so far. I do think though, Mirage was really, really good. Like, looking at this series as a holistic sort of view, Inferno, again, only got a little bit worse for wear on that CT side for LFO. Everything else was kind of fine. But yeah, Mirage was super hotly contested. Yeah. So hoping we can kind of find that level of competition that we saw. I
still think even on Mirage, there was the essence that LFO weren't looking for space, right? The amount of times that we saw Rooster go into A main, get the advantage in that position, they were up close and personal, they were playing reactive and responsive. I think that still bodes well for Rooster to hold more weight in this matchup than LFO at the moment. I just want to eat my words. I want this one to be really, really close, and it still possibly can be by LFO getting a couple of these rounds to the skin of the teeth. But I want to see more from LFO. I just need it. I need it, honestly.
Good news to you all. Server is ready, so we're going to be driving straight back into it here. Thank you guys all for your patience. All will be in order and well. So it's been frozen. It's been paused. We didn't miss any of the game. It was just LFO obviously finding that additional round there. So now the scoreline sits 7-4. Again, LFO are showing us that there is something that they can do. They're not out of the count. I just, as you say, like, I'll jump on the back and say it again. We need to see more.
Yeah, no Molotov as well from Rooster to the top of T stairs, so LFO knew that there was potentially something different happening. Waiting on the back of that one, but now it's all looking all right. LFO getting on out.
Slow walk through mid. Back into the bathrooms, using that utility to try send them out long.
This is sort of round for LFO that you can convert into your 5th and potential 6th because all of the money has been purchased by Rooster. Been used to purchase, rather. A1S on nettik, you want to see a lot of damage. Chelleos and Chipper onto Hatz.
Just needing to go together now. That flash does go up. TJ has managed to at least make quick work of Hatz. So, gun flies along. That's not going to be picked up by any member of Rooster here. So they very well should find the site. And they should find the plant. But where is that bomb? In the hands of apocdud. Okay, it goes down now. 4v4 on this retake.
Not really any utility for anyone to work with. Couple of flashes for LFO to buy some time. AK with a kit.
Great shot from chelleos. Good response. Savage, though. Make quick work of ADK. Now it's just on apocdud to be nice and careful. Savage has found a couple of really, really nice shots, but Sterling all the way back in the bathroom. Still up towards long will be Savage. He's going to be the one to try and take point first here. ASAP up very close. Savage will be looking to support, and he gets a 3. It's 5 rounds now for LFO. Rooster only 2 away, and they're going to be fully reset here.
Fully reset, and as I said, you're looking for 5 or 6 from LFO. We've got that. We've got some change. We want to see, potentially tie it up first. This one's going to potentially be 6 rounds on the board because there's no money. Do we get a double eco from Rooster to make sure that they're getting absolutely everything? I don't really know if they can afford to do that. We want to try and get to 8 or 9 rounds for them. So we'll see what damage that they're going to be able to do in this one. A lot of players for Rooster all at this B site. A full all stack. And I expect that LFO are kind of just going to take this one slow yet again. See if there's any overextensions. See if there's any util that they can hear. Because if you're LFO right now, you're hearing, 0 bits of utility behind the smoke that's fading at Monster. No flashes, no nades, no mollies around the map at all. You're expecting a sort of stack.
Rooster not showing anything, though. ADK just hopping around. LFO get this. Obviously 6. Nice and cruisy. Rooster will have that AWP, but it's a really, really good flash. Nicely done. Then it does manage to pick up 1. It's actually a little bit of a team flash as well at the same merit. Good response from Hatz. Easily done. But these kind of rounds are the ones that always need to go nice and clean. 4 alive is good. Absolutely happy with that. Money is really, really stacked for LFO, as it has been. And now with only 1 round the difference, it's getting close, it's getting tight, and I'm just still so confused.
Yeah, a little bit. I'm hoping that we can be... I don't know, we can just look towards the future of this series and say that, it ended the way that we hoped, right? If everything's, looking very streamlined, if everyone's looking cohesive, and that's what we need to be seeing now from both these sides. And a rifle round in number 14 can kick us off on that journey. Little lackluster on the utility as far as Rooster are concerned, but we're going to start to see the connector control, outside middle control as well, immediately forcing Rooster on back. They can't consider using this utility to get some forward space, play a little bit more passively, play a little bit more reactive on the util that LFO are playing with themselves. Because you're not seeing anything towards B at the moment as Rooster. No util exploration from LFO. No prodding and poking. It's really slow from LFO. Trying to see if there's any forward positions from Rooster. I will say that nettik has to be very careful from this location if he gets locked in or seen, because Sterling with that AWP can keep him contained here.
Yeah, it's chelleos that's been trying to support him. It is usually this double up, but Licky not clearing maps, so it's an opener for the side of Rooster. Nice and strong, but there's chelleos taken down. nettik now on an island, as you mentioned. But they have to be careful for this man who is out by the truck. He's got some attitude as well, TJP, getting some good damage dealt. And now both members of LFO incredibly low here. TJ also in the exact same boat. Hatz has made a real good position though, but I think ADK is aware of it. Yeah, that's really nice. Well done. apocdud now alone in this 1 versus 2. 16 HP. Has more than TJP, sure, but ADK, Mr. Reliable. 15 seconds, has to get moving. They actually reposition both of the truck. I think I like this, but an unfortunate tap of the mouse from apocdud means that TJP walks away with 2, picks up the AWP, and that is going to be the last round of the half, rearing its head with Rooster leading the charge again.
Yeah, don't know if that was either a misclick from apocdud or shooting to try and bait out a player really early on, try and bring it to the 1v1, get a plant, play for the post, but unfortunately both players there for Rooster to swing together anyways. As you say, last round of the half now, either 9-6 or 8-7. Regardless, I think it's pretty decent of a scoreline for both squads. We're going to have a bit of a split up from LFO early on. 2 over towards B, 3 towards A. Lots of mollies, already 3, I think I've counted from LFO. Yeah, 2 still to spare on Hatz and Licky, but the flashes on in, the smokes are fading. And the early ones over at B. This is where I'm kind of just waiting to see if we get a flash to try and isolate ASAP. Feels like Savage is waiting for a flash to go through that smoke, honestly.
Yeah. Certainly looking keen and mean. But again, Rooster just showing impeccable patience, not overstepping at all. They know that LFO have to be the ones to walk into their crosshairs, and that has been very much a sing of the tune this entire half. Even though the half is actually relatively close, much more than we expected. So now, opener. Savage, great boost. Finally showing some initiative. ADK does get the response, but as we've seen before, LFO, they found a pick and then they put the brakes on. So are they going to continue that? Molotov goes out for TJP, also going to get a smoke through as well. Now it's really tight, really awkward. Savage, awkward as well further. And ADK with a FAMAS has walked away with 3 big frags in the round.
nettik has got the bomb.
Yeah, that's it.
And now it's just down to
so
Sterling.
far away and just no calls, no connectivity.
Yeah, you can't see him win this 1 versus 3. You can't even go up to A at this point in time. He's been spotted out. Doesn't matter that the shot's missed. You've still essentially locked him out.
Didn't even have enough time to get the sight.
No.
Nah. That's done. Half closed. 9-6. And will we find out if Rooster or LFO will take it back after the half? And an interesting half has just preceded us here as we move 9-6 now left over. Rooster versus LFO. It has been a back and forward affair, 1-1 the scoreline, and the winner here will be facing up against Vertex into the next map. So there will be a short break, but until then, let the chaos ensue as we continue forth on Overpass.
It would be a very big pistol round for both of these teams to win. It could be the start for Rooster to just put a seal on this deal. Or for LFO, maybe to get a bit of a comeback happening first. Savage is going to be challenged, and he has to just bolt.
Yeah, absolutely. And the man being 17 and 8, he's been an important member of this team so far, as Licky this time picks up a coupler, holding on from the graffiti position. ASAP does manage to make quick work of Savage, though, so it's still this 3-on-4, moving towards the site, make it a 3-on-3. ADK, aware that something might be sneaky inside the smoke, but it's just not happening, so they're going to get that bomb planted. Going to be a tough retake, though.
Yeah, 3 versus 3. Plan in. No utility across the board. Need some sinister headshots.
Yeah, absolutely. Chelleos moving up close and personal with his famed P250 as well. Not happy with the Glock. Always wants that one-shot headshot potential. ADK up close, Licky down. And again, a level of hesitancy here from the side of LFO. apocdud last standing 1v3, and there is no kit, there is no frags, and that is Rooster finding a 3v5 to secure a 10th round here and the pistol.
Yeah.
And look, I'm going to start thinking about the entire game at this point.
Not bad. Good size. 10-6, a pistol secured, and a force up from LFO means that if you can brave this round as Rooster, you'd be well closer to a victory. But for LFO, what does this CT side look like? What differences do we get? What space do they put themselves in to find? One towards A, 4 towards B. And the only guy over towards A is actually apocdud, just having a bit of a spot out. Get some info early to bring rotations from your team. Try and put up a barricade before they get into this A site, if they choose to go there. Because by position, Rooster are looking to go to the B site, which they'll have to just challenge against this stack of players. A little bit of utility to buy some time for LFO. Meanwhile, I do like as well, Mitch, that Rooster are clearing everything properly. All of connector clear, all of short clear. Now into B.
Straight on in. It's going to actually not be the nicest looking item as well. Savage, oh my god! 3 huge kills from the big man.
All right.
That is Mr. relied upon in this server right now. Still alive, holding onto the Galil. It's all on the ASAP. Where's his team gone?
Yeah, they're in the grave. Unfortunately, that is a round of mystery. Just sitting down in the canals, able to spray the P250 on and find 3 kills. Well done from Savage.
Had a similar moment from Malta, if anyone remembers, to yesterday. 4K on Inferno with just the P250. This one a little bit more backed up with the 5.7, but yeah, that's a huge moment there from Savage. He is literally the one who is digging LFO out of a hole at this point in time with his individual prowess. 3 rounds of difference, still certainly a chance in it, but you know, this is Roosters forcing territory, and they will not back down if they keep doing damage, Komodo.
Oh, but for chelleos, this is a duel that he needs to win. There is a trade at least from ASAP, so a 4 versus 4. Just a hero rifle, getting some damage early on, and I would like to see that other gun dropped in the connector, picked up by someone on Rooster. Of course, they don't have too much utility for themselves, so they want to take a little bit more of these confident duels. Even an MP9 can make it a little bit more confidence-inspiring. There is a massive gap for LFO's defenses as well here. 2 players over towards A long. So if Rooster do just waltz in towards B, either slow or fast, they might actually be able to get into a post plant where LFO can't even justify a retake.
Dangerous position from Savage there, but he is going to fall away, and ASAP actually gets the team damage, so Savage repositioning does work out, but ASAP happy to at least find another frag. This is not looking like it's LFO's advantage. We do now see apocdud at least marching his way in towards short. He will drop silently, but both members are actually going to run their way back towards Monster here, and I think apocdud wants to go that way.
HSP getting that A1S as well, but it's not going to work out, unfortunately. Now it's just going to be ASAP. He's got 2 isolated duels, Mitch.
He was the hero rifle here as well with that Soul AK, but I think he's going to walk into the crosshairs of Hatz. He is. So LFO certainly started to feel the pressure there a little bit, but I think they were rewarded by Rooster. And as we know, Rooster, they will buy again into this next round. Only 2 alive for LFO. They do have some rifles behind them. They've actually got some pretty solid money, but it is breakable. That's the thing that Rooster never like to shy away from. I think the only sort of thing that I'm looking at here, though, is it's only really Galil territory. Okay, ADK is going to go for the dropped over AK. Yep, that's the usual. I don't even know why I was about to question it. But Rooster, they buy in again. They still have the lead. 2 rounds. LFO, if they keep many alive, maybe, just maybe, they'll send Rooster packing for a round or 2.
Oh, maybe, but we'll have to just wait and see because it's still early days and you know what Rooster can come up with. I do like the fact that LFO are using a lot of this space early on, though, to just push Sterling in through the backyard. He's probably going to find chelleos looking the wrong way.
Yeah. Really aggressive. This is nice. Some proactivity from LFO. And I like that Sterling doesn't bite off too much either. He has parked himself in that playground, sitting on the swing, waiting for a friend. And as they reposition, looks like they're actually going away. So the amount of information, now the fact that we at least have apocdud watching towards that connector position, they should be able to stack heavily towards Mikomoto. And as they start to march their way out, it's immediate damage. And Savage, again, finding two. Licky's been taken low, so he's got to be cautious. He's got to be careful. Hatz with the nade dunk, but it's got to be ASAP. He actually lines them up, and it's quickly back into this 2-on-2.
Oh, no, it's not. Chelleos finding apocdud means it's only onto Sterling coming in from a flank, and it's an open plant. He does have full util, but there's no smoke. That's the one piece of utility you would like him to have here. And now that Chelleos swings, ASAP knows exactly where he is. He just has to make sure he plays with the time, tucking in at Graffiti. He can swing wide to try and deny this defuse. Again, I mentioned no smoke, Mitch. There's not even a kit on poor old Sterling's back. He has to tap this bomb. Baited on out. And the molly's
the molly is good.
Right position, but he's seen it. He's off the bomb. Spotted
He didn't spot him.
Time is done. And the round is
man,
Roosters.
I thought that Sterling might have been able to at least find the timing there, but apparently not. There you go. What a big round from ASAP. He has hard carried the last two, hasn't he? And that's the force fire that, you know, goes the way of Rooster. And at least the money is a decent position. Oh, no, it's broken. Yeah, of course.
In terms of money, we have no money.
No money.
Pockets are empty. Sterling, though, carrying over what he could from the last round. And yeah, a timeout needed here for LFO. Because this is the time in the map that can pretty much decide, you know, if you're going to be able to win it or not, or how much of a comeback and clean rounds you need in a row to just start to establish a bit of a comeback. Lot to consider here. As LFO, what investments do you even do to try and position Sterling in the right spot? Because for Rooster, I mean, we've seen a lot of spread play from them, grouping outside monster, clearing connector properly. No real, you know, precedence on going over towards A long at the moment, which is something that Rooster could change it up with. But I'm looking at what LFO are bringing to this one, and they're deciding to buy. It's a risky gamble. Let's see if it's going to pay off, though. The AWP now in Sterling's hands. 1250 to spare. No extra flash or a kit. And by timing as well, ADK's managed to get into the backyard. He can be activated later on if needed for Rooster.
So it's again running a bit of the clock. Sterling very much having that forward-thinking position. Heavily stacked over towards B, though, however, for LFO. Still this chance to get back into the round with this bite.
Just the patience. LFO do not want to take any risks with this force because it would spell disaster, wouldn't it? 12 for Rooster, then 13 because he got an eco.
Oh.
Get that loss bonus up. Timing for Sterling. Oh, and he's had his head removed. That is a clothesline, folks.
It is such a one-and-done spot too, you know, unless he sort of had some real movement moments here, but you'd almost start to consider a save. And I think they are, but look at where nettik is. He's got the Mac 10. He's right in position. He's going to hear it all, yeah. But that's what I mean, like, you got to save, and I think nettik's about to ruin your day. He's spotted out at least Hatz, but...
And the funny thing is, the one weapon that probably would have the most impact too is the one that you're not carrying over.
Yeah, no, exactly it. Oh man, this is just
brutal.
Another really rough position to be in.
Oh, TJ, imagine removing the FAMAS and the A1S as well. Your save strategy not even respected.
No, it hasn't been respected at all, I don't believe.
No. So this is going to be 12 for surviving. That AWP as well. You can contend with taking it if you do want to get it in Chelleos' hands in the next round. But I think at this point in time, you're just making sure that your opponents can't pick it up. And actually, they're going to take the AWP into the new round as well. This is a swing time for LFO. You have to get this next round. All Alrighty, what are we going in with for LFO? A1S and the FAMAS to save. You just need to make sure you got all that money for the next round, because then it's a 13-8. It's a 6 rounds in a row that you need to just start to get up first, I think. You know, if you can get within 1 round of Rooster, you can start to get that tit for tat. Not even equalizing, because by that point in time, you would have built up enough to, you know, fumble Rooster. It's not going to start here, though. Not with that kill.
Just this problem being, you know, LFO obviously... Oh, great shot from Hatz. They can't afford to lose much more. That's where the pressure really does start to fall their way onto their shoulders. You know, Rooster finding 13 here, even though it's pretty much almost inevitable, it's just going to hurt so much.
Well, just imagine as well, 6 in a row that LFO have to get to then take the lead if this one's a loss. 4 to get within 1, which is still, you know, 3 gun rounds essentially by the money that Rooster will have.
We'll give him a second here because there is a few members of LFO waiting, but that's a great shot and a start from nettik. apocdud also still here with the FAMAS, but he's a little bit of a distance away, and he has been copped heavily by that nade. So yeah, nettik making it look way too easy. A big 3 in the bag for the man. And Licky is just going to have to spend the next 45 seconds thinking about what the hell he's going to do and where he's going to go with that M4. So yeah, Rooster 13 locked in, and they've got so much money now after this. At least this bomb will go off to really back them up. But at least LFO should have a decent looking buy with Sterling likely to grab the AWP.
5 the separator. It's starting to get a little bit more difficult time and time again for LFO. What are we going to see in the next round? They at least have the affordance of a buy. But again, Rooster are just playing this T side how they need to. It was the same on the previous 2 maps, essentially, right? Rooster just doing good things, good positioning, good calls, great swings together, I think is one of the highlights of this series so far. It's just making sure that there's a bit of contingency play for Rooster. If they lose a member, they're very rapid for the trade. And this buy that's coming through for LFO right now is not going to have too much utility behind it. Nothing for Sterling. Bare bones for apocdud. Actually, he's going to overtake Hatz by being dropped 1, but 5 rounds in a row to contend with. And if you do drop this one as well, you're probably looking at Rooster finding 15 because you have to either half buy and play for the OT.
Everything riding on these few rounds, and LFO again showing a level of hesitancy. At least there is some forward thinking between Sterling and apocdud. But there's that info gathered. apocdud will have to drop the early smoke.
It's just, if you're Rooster, you're baiting out what utility you can at the moment. You look at already how much LFO have left with 1:10 to go. A smoke, 2 nades, 2 flashes. It's not confident for a retake. It's not even enough to stall out Rooster, who are getting completely through bathrooms.
Oh, this is not good for Sterling. He has to hit the early shot, and he won't. That's the thing about playing that downward position. You know, apoc not there to support at all, so Hatz does join the party quick enough, and he does get 2. Okay, so it's worthwhile. Sterling didn't die for naught. apocdud will swing and be the king. Now, nettik in a 1v4. I think this one's a little bit too much for him to pick up here. Bomb down, at least gettable, but the rest of LFO seem to be a little bit more switched on here, but albeit paying passive.
Yeah. You need to hold all 4 weapons here as LFO to start this comeback, to be honest with you. For nettik, it doesn't really matter too much if you go down, but just try to eliminate an opponent first, which you're not going to be able to do. The AWP should be retrieved for LFO too to give that back over towards Sterling. So a bit of a recovery here for LFO, albeit a small one. We know that there's going to be a buy for Rooster in at this one as well. We'll say, though, when you've got all of the utility for LFO, just makes things feel a bit better in the subconscious that you can claim this one. You're going to get any differences from Rooster. Any long control, any split over towards the A side. We're already seeing that apocdud's trying to get some info over towards A, seeing what utility's here. But ADK, he's so fast. Try and just force him back, push him out, see if he can catch anybody off guard. Something that I love about this rendition of Rooster at the moment is that they are not scared to take this space.
Definitely not. And they shouldn't be. But it's just still such an interesting time for LFO, you know, where altering individuals are, you know, up and down in performance. It's not like it's a consistent moment where everyone kind of steps up. It's just a couple of players here, a couple of players there, map in, map out. You know, Sterling at the bottom when, you know, historically on Mirage, if we look back, he had 32 kills to take the team across the line. So you do need to see a little bit more of this level of consistency out of LFO. But again, early days for the roster in its current form, and I do believe they're in it for the long run here.
Well, there's 40 seconds to try and establish a plant here, and if you're going to go in towards B, you have to brave through the soldiers that are there. If you're up towards A, you might be able to force LFO into a safe situation because you've got apocdud here. I thought that Hatz was going to consider a bit of a rotate, but with 30 seconds to go now, he's going to have to. Throwing in the utility, a molly in monster to block off any potential rush. Focus on the prize. It's at this A site now.
They have to know, and it looks like they do. So still the HE in the hands of Hatz, Sterling the same, and they are up very, very quick, but Hatz can't quite connect with it. It's Sterling to poke on out. apocdud gets one more back, but he's stuck inside the bank, and unfortunately it is going to be a denied withdrawal for now as they are moving their way through. Great flash in from Savage. ADK now in the clutch position. This is the man you want in your clutch. We've seen it historically from the big man here, from the long position. Looks like they are going to swing together. They just have to be ever so careful. They will at least be able to get up towards the bomb here. ADK still living. ADK still holding, but it is Savage. And he, again, continues to chomp down on this recovery session.
Yeah, you can see as well the plan over at the truck because they're vulnerable to anything at bank and the double flank that was coming through. Just not very quick enough to try and establish a post-plant situation. Unfortunately for Rooster, it didn't matter that those last two players on LFO didn't have any utility because just swinging together, not lining up, getting that one. Double digits now achieved for LFO, but again, you have to contend with another buy from Rooster. It looks a little bit weaker with the Galil and the Tech 9 being present, but there's still a bunch of utility. One of the things in that previous round, 20 seconds to go before Rooster really revealed what they wanted to do. It gave LFO enough time to figure it out and get over to that A site. So this time things turning up the pace a little bit over towards short water.
Yeah, a bit more speed this time coming out from Rooster. It looks like they're much more ready to sort of get onto it. But LFO, they're all here. So it's going to move, Komodo. It's going to go quickly. And there's Sterling completely blind, finding the opening. Savage. Also, it's white everywhere here. And Sterling, denial of service. ASAP, last alive. Stuck outside Monster. And somehow, some way, LFO are just creeping back in.
Immediately, 4 players down for Rooster. Not a single point of damage delivered over to LFO. And for poor old ASAP, I mean, you've got a minute to try and survive. You've already got a bit of a flank coming from apocdud. I don't think this one's really achievable.
Nah, no chance. And they've just got no cash at all. Like, even ASAP saving this wouldn't be exactly the best cause. Now they're just going to try and set that interest, set that focus. ASAP, taken down. Big apocdud will close, and now this has to be a save from Rooster. Them forcing into this will net themselves nothing.
Oh, yeah.
So they just have to allow LFO to get 12.
It'd be a mistake to force in here if you're Rooster. You know, you want a gun round up if LFO find that 12th round on the scoreboard.
Look, Rooster love a force, right? But they're not dumb. That's the main thing. They are not going to throw a round out the window. They're only going to buy in when they know they can make it work. And it's Tech 9s. It's, you know, an investment, sure, but they know that they're going to be able to get AKs into the next round anyway. So they're looking to move somewhat quickly. The Molotov inside short is good to at least stem it for now. But they are moving very, very quickly. Astralis nades as well, but nobody there. Licky manages to get away. So they've got all the information here, Komodo. They can get moving in quickly. Licky, though, Hatz, they get it done. And Licky from Graffiti, he will be able to pick up 2, and it's Hatz with 3. Very clean. Great counter eco from LFO. No pressure on them at all. And now we're only 1 round that separates the 2 of them, Komodo. How the hell has the game turned on its head as much as it has now?
You got to be careful, though, if you're Savage there as well, right? Because what if you didn't have Licky or Hatz there? What if it was one of them, not both of them? You're caught out with utility without getting a kill. And then the other player has to try and spray down everybody that's overwhelmed the site. Could have been a risky situation at the end. Well navigated, though. And now we are within 1. A timeout to have a conversation for LFO. They have gotten the rounds that I was talking about, right? To bring it within 1. On the 4 in a row, the 5 that they needed previously when Rooster were on 12. This is the time. A close map, a close series. 3rd in the decider to be 1 best of 3 away from IEM Sydney 2023. The last Counter-Strike global offensive hurrah.
Oh, man. Man, oh, man. So a bit of a slower start here from Rooster, as you can expect, but not the same for LFO. They are forward. They are in the danger territory. And apocdud didn't really sniff anything out there, so he does start to get the leash pulled back onto him.
It's pretty bare bones for Rooster, all things considered. Utility on chelleos, but you kind of be wanting your AWP to be locking down a couple of lines. When you use that utility to get your team on in, they're not going to see anybody at Monster. They're going to go in, and LFO are respecting this on their fallback of the site.
Definitely. Savage here. Licky again from Graffiti, opening strong, but nettik. He's managed to pick up Hatz and Savage. Licky's still alive somehow, and he's found two. Will it be a third? No, it'll be a third for nettik instead. And now LFO, do they cut their losses and save this, or do they try to move on in? apocdud might be able to find the timing. Doesn't quite get it onto this plant from nettik.
3 kills and a plant from nettik. He's just doing it all himself.
A bit of a solo dolo run here, and if he peeks up into heaven, he might actually be able to find the right amount of timing. Molotov is good, though. Back to a 2-on-2. Now they can start to get a bit of a wriggle on. ASAP inside the water, though. Are they going to clear this? It's a very tough one to try and go for, especially when you've got a member supporting you. Exactly. They can just wait patiently, but they've got to go. apocdud, Sterling, get moving, boys. Get in towards this site, because otherwise ASAP, he's going to have your number, and he's going to make sure that your namesake is as quick as the round is.
Kicking goals in that one. Certainly needed to happen. He's been a little bit silent on this one. Same for ADK and chelleos a little bit there. nettik is really the one trying to drag Rooster through the mud at the moment. You flip it on over, and it's Savage. Man's on 25 kills, trying to see what he can do to put LFO in a favorable situation. Guns aplenty. Util abounds for number 27 on that round count. This is different from LFO, though. 2 players this time towards the fountain. But it's just the single piece of util, leaving apocdud boosted up on party by himself. We haven't seen LFO really go for this. We have seen flanks from apocdud before, for sure, but it's the later stage of the round when Rooster are almost in the sights itself. This time, they're going to potentially challenge him, and they're going to win it. That's a big one from Sap.
ASAP is just an animal in this game. Like, he hasn't got the most frags in the server, sure, but they have been so impactful. Exactly. Like, to clear that angle when LFO haven't been playing forward, like, at all, or at least, you know, they haven't spotted that information. And just the fact that this game has, you know, gotten much closer than it was originally is awesome. Like, we're getting that map that we deserved here as spectators. And now Rooster putting the brakes on a little bit after they found that opening pick.
Yeah. Got to be careful on where Sterling is, because if you shift walk into the line that he's holding at the bathrooms, you will get rinsed. Molotov towards long. It's not going to be baiting out any false information. It's just to keep sure that no Rooster members are already starting to scale on up, because we can see that it's happening around the bathrooms area. This means that these 2 LFO members, well, they need to hit their shots.
Good start from Sterling. Now the reposition doesn't quite get it. It's nettik to rip off his head again. I think they might very well look over Hatz, though. He's got to find the timing. He's got to do it right. How long does he want to hold this trigger for? He's heard the scope. Surely. Hatz! Oh, no! Okay, okay. They've overlooked it. It's fine. Is he going to be able to get onto the right timing? Hatz, he can line them up. He can absolutely do it all. But nettik, 2 HP, 10 seconds. Does he have enough time? Can he get the bomb here? Savage has to be patient, has to go for the fight, and he does spot him. Hatz, you are a king.
Finally. That's what he's been waiting for. He's been waiting for his moment. Definitely feels like he's been trying to lead this team to victory in this server at the moment. And he's finally pulled up something special, something big, something needed. Because Rooster's economy situation is teetering. They can't really justify a full force in the round such as this. Half by at best. If they drop it, it's 14-14. It's all rounds of regulation. And in a best of 3 this long, I wouldn't be surprised if this pauses because someone's mouse or headset has gone flat, if that's the technical variety.
Yeah, definitely
bit of a breather.
A tech pause for just a second. Hopefully shouldn't be too long. It looks like everyone is sort of looking around. People are buying up, so it seems to be A-okay for the time being. Bit of a freeze, though, on the side of LFO, so I'm sure we'll be told about this one shortly and find out as to why the technical delay is occurring. But look, you know, we are closing in towards the end of this game. Looks like the purchase is there now for both sides, except for apocdud.
And then a lot of Rooster as well, but that's to be expected in a round such as this because they don't have the money.
I think they're just doing the classic. It looks to be just 80k dropping that one weapon over for Chelleos. Quite common. We used to see the Rooster one hero weapon to come out. So, you know, it does net them some success here and there, but for the time being, you know, we just have to let this all simmer, Komodo, don't we? Yeah. You know, 2 rounds separate Rooster with victory. 3 for LFO. Economic strain on both sides of the rosters.
Yep. If LFO do somehow drop this one, though, they themselves wouldn't have any money from loss bonus. They get a little bit, but not enough to give you a massive buy. So this is a must-win round for LFO. I mean, you can always argue that it's a must-win for Rooster because they want to get the victory, but for Rooster, they've got, you know, that affordance that if they do drop this without much investment, then they've got another buy in round number 29. But this right here, folks, round number 28. This is going to be a very large round. And this is the point in time as well where, you know, a lot of teams wouldn't take risks. They play a little bit more safe, more known more in their experience and their history of what they come out with. But do you take a risk, you know? Would it pay off at this situation? You never know. It's only for these 5 players. 6 if you talk to your coach to decide.
Purchase has come through from apocdud, so we'll just wait for that unpause to come back through. It looks like there's been a tick in the chat, so that sounds like it is about the right time for everything to get moving. Should be almost ready to dive back into live time, ladies and gentlemen. Again, it's been a pleasure to have you all in here, cheering on your favorite team and who you want to see pull this one through. Because again, in what will be, at this point in time, just under an hour, we'll see who will be able to face off against Vertex to qualify for IEM Sydney 2023.
Yeah, we will know in a few hours' time who that's going to be. Get though. The timer is back. Which means we're ready to get into this round. Who is going to get this one? Are we going to tie it up 4-0? Are we going to find Rooster getting series points straight up and put LFO into a very awkward position with their money in the next round? 1,400 smackers in their pocket if they lose.
Yeah.
That is not enough.
Definitely not. So there we have it. Molly out, straight in towards mid. They do manage to get their way through.
Everybody feeling the pressure at the moment, the nerves. Front of bathroom smoke. They're going to wrestle with Sterling at long. Surely this has been communicated that this is a possible position that Sterling can get overwhelmed in. The footsteps are heard. Will Chell find him? That could be the AWP down for the kill.
No,
but no, the
Chell!
spray. Oh, the challenge.
Oh,
that is
thank
audacious.
God. Yeah, he does manage to get it back. But now the level of hesitancy, you know. What happens here? apocdud. He does swing, and it's not wide enough. Gather some further info as well, but peeking. That's a very bold play, Mr. apocdud. Be careful, my friend.
Yeah.
That's the one weapon down, though.
Oh, no, there's 2 of them. Okay. Half HP. You're still braving this one as LFO. Just don't be too overconfident in this situation, because that can happen.
Still losing a lot more than they would have liked. ASAP's picked up the AWP. This was the one hero weapon, and look how far away they are. We'll have one member going up towards connector, and ASAP's already on the line. Licky, oh, the timing! He's managed to get away with it just for now. He's creeping on in. Licky could potentially walk all the way up here. ASAP, they've made footsteps. They know now. Licky, can he find the timing? He absolutely can, but now they know exactly where ASAP is as well. Licky has to get back in towards position. They don't have quite the kit, but Licky has the frag. Never mind, there was a kit there anyway. What am I on about but Savage? Closes. Deal done. Signed and delivered. But Rooster, tied up scoreline, 14-14. They make LFO reinvest more again. Money moderate.
Oh,
Rooster,
man.
Chanson. Things can occur here, and I don't know which way it's going to go.
14 all. Full rounds of regulation. You've got your buy-in as Rooster, but your T side has dropped down in its potency these past couple of rounds. Given LFO a bit more of a swing to be able to close this one in. Rocket forward, right at back. chelleos sits.
There it
Sterling
is.
down.
Big opener. Huge from chelleos. Impact when the team needs him. Advantage going their way. And apocdud, he's had a monstrous A-hold, but again, he's the lone ranger on that position, and we have seen Rooster favor this site the last few rounds.
An opening pick for Rooster. You've got to be converting these, don't you? No AWP in the play. Over at the A side especially, and here comes all of the utility. The smoke does not matter from the CTs. apocdud has to get more here.
The team flash, but chelleos, at least he makes up for it. Hatz actually up and over the bin, but he's not trash at all. He's going for a second. Hunting, fighting, going for it. Hatz a third. He's had 2 massive, colossal rounds now that are dragging LFO, kicking and screaming. He's putting the team inside his backpack, and he looks for more, but it's nettik. Nettik's alive. Never count him out. Jump spots, information gathered, position known. Savage just has to hold, just has to find this fight, and he will. He absolutely will. That's 28 kills for the big man, but Hatz, 2 key, crucial rounds for the big man.
Imagine if that was the 1v3, Mitch.
Oh, man.
Imagine if he was able to just pull that one out. That would have been something special. But here we go.
I'm up and about. I'm up and about, mate.
The regular phase.
Oh, dude. It's so nice to be back in some good CS. Oh, the way that this has gone, I was expecting LFO honestly to roll over and die. That there was nothing. They'd been tucked into that little burrito, kissed on the forehead, put to bed. But clearly whatever has happened has woken them up. You know, maybe a slap around, but yeah, all the individuals now have been stepping up. It's not just Savage anymore.
No. Yeah, Hatz certainly putting a mark on the board there. Two
absolutely colossal rounds of importance that he's won for them.
This comeback again, we saw it previously when Rooster had a stellar lead at the half.
They did.
LFO had to really come back. First time for the lead.
That's it. 10-5 on Mirage to win out 16-14.
Not a lot of utility though for both teams to work with here.
Series point.
Minute 20 on the clock. Double monster for the LFO boys. Savage and Licky. Oh, and nettik is going to be shouldered out, taken down.
Right eye peek. Manages to find it.
Savage down to half HP though. This is the time where you need to see ASAP use this utility. Positioned accordingly, positioned appropriately to just off-put the LFO members. 50 seconds to go. They have 2 more smokes to buy time.
And they've just pumped the brakes, waiting patiently. Savage on the line. That's 29. Bomb dropped, but he's taken. Denied the 30. But it's the leader in chelleos that tries to go fight for the good fight. That is an immaculately timed flash to force Licky back. But ASAP does find it. Galil in hand. There's a chance. There's a world. It's a 2-on-2, but apocdud, he says no. He's going to continue to deny. He was the pillar of health on the A side. But Sterling on the line. And he will get the job done. That is going to be LFO with an unthinkable comeback to drag this game out of the mud. Mate, they had not just been tripped and kicked into the dirt. They had been buried. They were gone. And that's twice that happened in this series, Komodo.